to me, when I was like, oh my God, this is jujitsu, where she's like, if you go to his rallies, his crowds are boring, they're tired, they all leave. My crowds are the best crowds. I have the number one crowd. He couldn't help himself.
And she got him. She baited him on that. She walked him right into it.
100%. 100%.
I love how it was either Tom or Joe said, oh, she baited him. The reason I love that is because Matt Taibbi had an idiotic theory that there's like this massive conspiracy. There's collusion between mainstream media listening to a DNC talking point and regurgitating it. And that conspiracy is everybody said that she baited him. So obviously this is planned out and people are in on it. And they came up with this line and they're all running with it in this nefarious, smoke-filled backroom way in a conspiracy against Trump. And what's the reality? Of course there's no conspiracy. People are saying that she baited Trump because she baited Trump. And it was the most obvious thing in the world to see. It's one of the most obvious things. So that just blows up Taibbi's goofball theory.
Yeah, let's check out this one, guys, because we talked a little bit about Joe Rogan's clip. Let's take a look at that clip in case anyone's not familiar with it, because Kyle Kulinski had some interesting analysis related to this clip and related to Matt Taibbi that I wanted to play.
She did a great job.
They did an amazing job from the moment Biden drops out, forcing Biden to drop out. Right, whatever they're doing, whoever's writing those speeches, getting her to deliver them, coaching her, she's nailing it. She nailed that one speech. She's like, "Say it to my face."
Oh, yeah,
everybody's cheering.
Yeah, she nailed it, dude.
And then last night, to me, when I was like, oh my God, this is jujitsu, where she's like, if you go to his rallies, his crowds are boring, they're tired, they all leave. My crowds are the best crowds. I have the number one crowd. He couldn't help himself.
And she got him. She baited him on that. She walked him right into it.
100%. 100%.
All right, so we saw that. Like I said, most people in our audience probably already watched that clip. It's been widely circulated. Now let's take a look at this video from Kyle Kulinski from Secular Talk, where he gets into Joe Rogan's coverage and specifically name drops Matt Taibbi, which I find to be pretty hilarious.
Yeah, there you have it. By the way, I love how it was either Tom or Joe said, oh, she baited him. The reason I love that is because Matt Taibbi had an idiotic theory that there's like this massive conspiracy. There's collusion between mainstream media listening to a DNC talking point and regurgitating it. And that conspiracy is everybody said that she baited him. So obviously this is planned out and people are in on it. And they came up with this line and they're all running with it in this nefarious, smoke-filled backroom way in a conspiracy against Trump. And what's the reality? Of course there's no conspiracy. People are saying that she baited Trump because she baited Trump. And it was the most obvious thing in the world to see. And so now you have people like Tom Segura and Joe Rogan, who are nobody's liberals, nobody's lefties, nobody's Democrats at this point. And they're like, yeah, she baited him.
100%.
Maybe because Occam's razor is she baited him and everybody could see that. It's one of the most obvious things. So that just blows up Taibbi's goofball theory. But guys,
boom, roasted. I love that petty beef that's going on. And then like such a boomer, Matt Taibbi at like 8 o'clock in the morning, dude. Kyle's so on his brain after the night. He's like, his heart's thumping. It's the first time he's had an adrenaline rush in decades. He's like, standing in the kitchen with a pot of coffee. He's like fuming already. He's thinking about what he said on Jimmy Dore's show last night. He tweets out at like 8 a.m. at Kyle Kulinski and then a link to him talking shit. And Kyle's like, bro, this is so petty and pathetic. I'm just going to admonish you in passing because that's all you're worth to me right now. But don't worry, everyone. We went and sleuthed it out. Matt Taibbi, Russell Brand, Jimmy Dore, the MAGA left, a collective joke amongst every serious leftist commentator.
Yep, 100%. And here's that question, or here's that article in question. Wait, are they going to make me pay for it?
You're talking about the Jonathan Chait article, right, that he wrote about Matt Taibbi? Is the world conspiring to pretend Trump lost the debate?
Yeah, I guess that the article itself is behind a paywall, but I can show you guys here at least his little thesis. As you can see, is the world conspiring to pretend Trump lost the debate?
Let me see if
Matt Taibbi argues that Donald Trump was not baited by Kamala Harris into losing the debate, but that the Democratic Party controls the media. Right. So that was his line, that what we all clearly saw happen didn't actually happen. The media just made it up, although somehow Joe Rogan still came to the exact same conclusion. I mean, what an absolute joke. What an absolute joke. Zach and I were watching the debate live as it happened. And I remember when Donald Trump walked right into that trap, I turned to you and said, I can't believe it. He took the bait.
100%.
He took the bait. We weren't ingesting or absorbing any mainstream media coverage at that point. No, we were literally live on air. It had just happened. And that was the words directly out of my mouth. And then I looked at Twitter and everyone was saying the same thing. But yeah, that's just what happened. Sometimes something happens and then people acknowledge that it happened. It's not a conspiracy.
Yeah. So this is the actual Matt Taibbi article. And then Jonathan Chait, shame on you, Matt Taibbi. Absolute shame on you for making me give it up to Jonathan Chait on this very own Vanguard podcast, but he did get you. He got you bad. So yeah, after the debate's over, this is September 11th, right? To all of his Substack subscribers, of which I am one for some painful reason, DNC talking points become instant post-debate headlines. And now I'm not a paid subscriber, but we could get the idea. Last night, Vice President Harris commanded the stage, began the DNC's Talkers Top Lines mailing list entry this morning. Kamala Harris commanded the debate. Analyst John Heilemann said on Morning Joe, Kamala Harris commanded the first debate against Donald J. Trump, read the opening line in the New York Times top debate story. Harris commanded the room from the moment she walked on stage. California Governor Gavin Newsom told the Los Angeles Times the pattern continued. Now, you might be like, is this a story of Matt Taibbi kind of going back to his roots and talking about how the press is lazy? Is it because, they just didn't really do their homework? Like, it was so obvious that Kamala Harris won that debate and wiped the floor with Donald Trump that, everybody just kind of put out the same point. No, he wants you to believe that there is an actual conspiracy that's because she didn't actually win the debate. It was that, it was all rigged to make the media convince everyone that she won the debate, and nobody would make up their own minds. They didn't actually watch.
Yeah. It's just like the Biden dead enders after his disastrous debate when they all pretended that, no, actually, he didn't do that poorly. It's all just a psyop to try to, get him out of the race. But actually, if you rewatch it, Joe Biden, he answered every question. What did Jill Biden say? You answered every question, Joe. That's basically Matt Taibbi now. But for Donald Trump, the pathetic thing, though, is that even though there were Biden dead enders, the majority of the Democratic Party, almost everyone in left media acknowledged that Joe Biden got absolutely destroyed in that debate, that it was humiliating, that he had to go as the nominee because of it. There was actually a lot of unity in Democrat media and left-wing media after the Joe Biden debate. Everyone was honest about it for the most part, other than like the 1% of Biden dead enders I just referenced. But on the Republican side, there's a lot of sycophants that are still in denial about the fact that Donald Trump lost the debate, partially because MAGA propagandists like Matt Taibbi out here, trying to enforce that message that don't believe your lying eyes. Actually, Trump did really well somehow.
It's all just the woke liberals that want to scold him. They really are eating your pet. Oh, what a fall from grace, man.
Yeah.
This really what you're doing? You really couldn't skate by doing some Rolling Stone pieces, kind of pissing off the liberals, kind of pissing off the conservatives. I want to know what happened to the Bush like me, Matt. I want to know what happened to the guy that could see through, that could read between the lines a little bit. Dude, what happened to your brain? Okay, I seriously think when you bald and you become middle-aged as a white man in America, that it just something painfully bad happens to you. That's why I plan on joining the 27 club next year.
Yeah, like I said, he's fallen far from these days.
Always in decline, never hitting bottom.
In my media career, which is that I want Zac and Gavin from the Vanguard podcast. I want them to become the biggest thing on the internet.
Working on it. We're working on it. And with with friends like you, I think we can make it all happen.
Yup.